Hello everybody, welcome to this video, and in this video we are going to be doing radicals again, but this time we are going to be doing multiple things with them. Sometimes we're going to be converting it back into the original form that you would have seen right up here. Other times we are going to be taking two separate radicals and combining them and simplifying them. Let's do number 13 first, since I already wrote the equal sign off of that. 6 square root of 20. If there is a 6 outside of the radical, that is equivalent to having two 6's inside. So 20 times 6 is 120. We have that other 6, so we're going to do 120 times 6. And I believe that would make 720. But we are still under the square root. And that's all that we can do. That's the answer. Square root 720. Unless, let's look and see if this 20 could have broken down further. You know what? It could. So that means we don't want to go backwards, but knowing how to go backwards was still good. Let's solve it a different way. This is equal to 6 times the square root of 2 squared times 5. 6, we have a pair, so that can be taken out, and we have the square root of 5 inside. That's going to make 12 square root of 5. That's the answer. The thing about math is, since there's multiple ways to do each problem, it's going to happen that you're going to do the wrong thing at some point. But you just have to get over that and think, well, okay, what I did that time didn't work. Let me try doing it a little bit different the next time. Mistakes are okay in math. You just have to learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward, keep trying something different. Let's try number 16. Square root of 30 times square root of 6. A property with radicals that you should know, and if you don't know, here's a property. If you have two radicals and they're of the same index, as long as they are both square roots, you can take two separate square roots and multiply together, combining them through multiplication, the radicands. So an example of that could be square root of 10 times square root of 10 will be equal to the square root of 100. You can take the 10 from one, the 10 from the other. Since they're both square roots, you can multiply those together to make the number 100. And when you do the square root of 100, you get the answer 10. So here, the square root of 30 times the square root of 6 is going to be equal to the square root of 180. Then we can break down 180. It's going to be kind of like working backwards for a little bit, but it's okay. It's going to make 6 and 30. 6 and 30 make 2 and 3. Well, 6 makes 2 and 3. 30 makes 5 and 6. 6 makes 2 and 3. We have a pair of 2's, a pair of 3's, and a single 5. So I have square root of 2 squared times 3 squared times 5. We have a pair and a pair. So that will simplify to make 2 times 3 outside times square root of 5 inside. That means that the answer to this is 6 square root of 5. It looks similar to what we started with, but 6 square root 5 is very different. Well, it's equivalent, but its form is very different from what we started with. I'll do number 20 because that one looks a bit different. 20 says 7 square root of 5 squared. It looks different, but it's actually not bad, but there's multiple ways you can do it. I think the easiest way to do this one would be to expand it. Since you have an exponent outside of here, that means that everything inside this parentheses is grouped together. So what we can do is we can take everything in the parentheses and write it, and then we're going to write it again. Since we're squaring it, that means we just need to write it multiplying it by itself twice. Then you can do the 7 times the 7 and the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. 7 times 7 makes 49. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 makes square root of 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. 49 times 5 is 145? No, 245? Let's check real quick. Yes. So that means if you have an exponent outside, you should expand, which means take everything that was inside and then just do whatever the power says. The power says squared, so that means I'm going to write it twice. And then you can simplify from there. There is another way that you could do it, but I'll leave that for a different teacher to teach.